Thank you so much for staying with Politics tonight. Joining us for more conversation is a member of Bayelsa State House of Assembly representing Ekeremo constituency, Porri. Honorable, thank you so much for joining us as we focus on Bayelsa State governorship election. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Right. So let me have your assessment of the governorship election in Bayelsa State.
Well, first, we must thank God Almighty for crowning our efforts with victory. This victory is one that is being dedicated to God Almighty and indeed to the people of Bayelsa State and that of the jurisdiction. Before the elections, there were rumors flying around Bayelsa that they have already written results, preloaded beavers. But of course, the people stood. They came out in their numbers to demonstrate and exhibit their sincere love for our leader, the Governor General of the nation, Governor-elect, most distinguished Senator Doye Diri. I must first commend INEC. Yes, as a day before yesterday, electoral materials have already gotten to our rack centers on time. And of course, accreditation commenced exactly 8:30. And voting and accreditation started at the same time. And I can tell you today that no doubt INEC lived up to their expectations. What we expected INEC to do, INEC beat our imaginations by defending and standing with their rules, with their guidelines, and with the Constitution. For us, we are grateful that INEC did not disappoint us. And our people were resilient. We were very ready, we were very dogged, we were very committed to a peaceful elections. Let me tell you, if anybody is telling you about stories in Brass, stories in Nembe, from our assessment and what we know, His Excellency the Governor won the 8 local governments. We are aware of what transpired in Brass. We are aware of what transpired in Nembe. When people are talking about election results in Ekeremo, election results in Sagbama, election results in Yanangwa, election results in Kolokuma, in these areas, elections were free, fair, and most credible. It was one man, one vote. And let me even inform you, in my constituency, Ekeremo constituency 1 is the maternal constituency of His Excellency the Governor. And to our greatest dismay, at about 12 noon, some thugs, APC thugs, went to 2 of my ward, Ward 4 and Ward 5, and started shooting. And then, of course, the people stood their ground, and they said, if you like, kill all of us. We will be here to cast our vote and defend our vote. We alerted the security agencies. They swung into action. And all those who...
All right, so Honorable, ahead of the election, there was fear of violence in major parts of Bayelsa State. But how would you rate the way security agencies pulled up on election day?
Let me once again commend the security agencies for a job well done, especially in Yanangwa, Sagbama, Ekeremo, in Kolokuma, Pokuma, in Southern Ijo, in Ogbea. The other 2 local governments I cannot tell because our supporters were not even allowed to go to Nembe Basambri to cast their votes. They were chased out of that community. And even beyond the Luasiri axis of Nembe, our voters were not even allowed to go in. So even you can even find out from your team, even media personnel were not allowed to go close to those areas. So generally, in our this other local government that I was earlier mentioned, elections were conducted in a peaceful atmosphere, and the security live up to their expectations by ensuring that lives and properties were protected, the voters were protected. I can tell you that even the military was very professional. They were very far from the polling booths, polling units. Some of them, the usual gun boats. Some were in the river. Even the armed tankers, they were very far from where our people were voting. So generally, in those 6 local governments I've mentioned, the security situation was very okay.
Right. So in Bayelsa, we had a total registered voters about 1 million, but total accredited voters turned out to be 372,000. What would you say is responsible for this low turnout of voters?
Of course, you are aware that even before the elections, there were threats. You can't have a conducive, a free and fair election in a violent environment. There were threats that our people will be killed. There were threats that if you are not coming to vote for a particular political party, you will be killed. Of course, you are aware, a particular candidate making statements at campaign venues, threatening our people. And those who came out were people who were really, really determined to demonstrate their love. Bayelsans loved the governor. The governor, upon his inauguration, in 2020, he did mention that he is not governor for PDP, he's governor for PDP, he's governor for APC, he's governor of Bayelsa State, and that he will administer his oath of office evenly. And to tell you, I am not surprised that he won in virtually all the 8 local governments, despite the fact that Brass and Nimbe there were issues as to the other party not allowing our voters to go in to vote in specific areas. For us, we won the 8 local government. And of course, we went around the entire state. Any community we went to, I can tell you that there was celebration. The organic love was clearly demonstrated during the elections. The people did not just vote. After voting, they stood their ground. Take, for instance, in my local government, in a Keremo local government, they did not only vote. After voting, they all moved to the headquarters of the local government. And they ensured that the elections were not rigged, the elections were not manipulated. And I must also commend INEC for living up to their expectations.
But interestingly, Bayelsa has just 8 local governments, but election results
yes.
were announced last.
It's in paper. 8 local governments in paper.
What do you mean by that?
8 local governments in paper. Bayelsa State is far bigger than some states that have 42 local governments. Take, for instance, in my local government, it will take you 3 to 4 days for you to traverse around the Keremo local government. From my community, Alebiri, to Age, it will take you a whole day. But you will first, from Yanangwa, from the capital city, you will take a vehicle to Alebiri, from Alebiri. Then, in short, let me use the opportunity to thank His Excellency, our dear miracle governor and governor-elect, for not just abandoning the Keremo-Sagbama road. That road project was started by his predecessor, the immediate past governor of Bayelsa State, most distinguished Senator Henry Siriake Dixon. And His Excellency, when he came to campaign in 2019, he did promise the Keremo people that, look, I'm your son. If you vote for me, I'm going to take this road to Keremo. I'm going to complete this. As of today, I can tell you that we are driving in a smooth road to a Keremo town. His Excellency has again also promised the Keremo people that upon commissioning of that road, he will re-award the commencement of a Keremo Age road. So no wonder a Keremo massively voted for His Excellency. You can imagine the margin is incomparable. So for us, when people talk about Bayelsa is not a small state at all. It's not. It's in paper. It's just unfortunate that we have 8 local governments. Take, for instance, in Southern Nigeria, I did my law school in Kano. If you go to some local governments in some states, you will discover that Southern Nigeria can best be compared to 4 or 5 local governments in some states. What about Ekeremo? The same thing, brass. Take, for instance, my boss, the Right Honorable Mr. Speaker, Abraham Ngobere, who is the Speaker of the 7th Assembly, is from Akasa Island. From Yanagwa to Akasa, you spend nothing less than 5 to 6 hours. So how do you now compare a local government that you will spend 10, 15 minutes to get to the end? But whereas in a local government, in a particular local government in Bayelsa, you will spend sometimes 2, 3 days to traverse the entire local government. I want to state very categorically that Bayelsa is only 8 local governments in paper, but in reality, we are more than 40 local governments.
All right, so if you say Bayelsa has just 8 local governments on paper, as a member of the House of Assembly, what needs to be done in this regard?
Of course, you know the process of creation of states. If you want to talk about creating new local government, it's not within the ambit of the State Assembly. Of course, it's a process that you need to amend the Constitution. And you know that the process of amending a Constitution is very cumbersome. And then, of course, creating local governments, new local governments or states under a civil dispensation sometimes is very, very difficult. And it's our sincere prayer that the 2014 confab be implemented so that in order to help our country to come up with a constitution that will be accepted by all and sundry as long as this country is concerned.
So now that Governor Diri has been re-elected, what would you say contributed to his victory in the face of an opposition like Timi Persuva?
Of course, His Excellency has he has spent barely 4 years in government house. And let me tell you, I'm very proud, very, very proud to be called his younger brother, to be representing him maternally. His mother is from a Ekeremo local government. If I begin to count the number of life-transforming, life-changing projects littered around the Ekeremo alone, of course, you can't expect anything less other than the outcome we have experienced. If you want to talk about development in Yanagwa, in the capital city, Itato, some of these projects were projects that some former governors were saying that Bayelsa is not developable. Bayelsa, you can't just carry out development anyhow. It's a very difficult terrain to develop. But His Excellency, being a former leader, a former freedom fighter, a pioneer organizing secretary of the INC, who has traversed around the entire nation, he sincerely appreciates the problems of our people. And when he was inaugurated as governor, he swung into action. He started attending to the issues gradually. And today, Bayelsans have seen the sincerity. Today, we are enjoying untold peace. Before now, you cannot even, your people cannot at this time be comfortable going out. But when this man came, he came with the peace mantra. He came with the unity mantra. Bayelsans are united. There is peace in our states, and there is tranquility. That can only be credited to His Excellency, His Excellency Distinguished Doye Diri. His performance is second to none. And the only time you can tell whether or not a governor has performed is during elections. This was a clear demonstration of the fact that he has done well. And the people said he deserves a second tenure. And that is what we have all experienced. So we are grateful and we are thankful to all Bayelsans for re-electing our leader, the governor of our dear state, for another 4 years. In these 4 years, His Excellency is taking road to brass. A road to a place where some persons said that road cannot get to brass and that area is economically viable. I don't know what they want. His Excellency is taking road to the headquarters of Southern Ijaw local government. Some persons who, when they were governors, when they were holding the offices here, they said these things are impossible. But today, a man is gradually taking road to the 3 senatorial districts headquarters. And for me, there cannot be any better thank you than what Bayelsans have done. And I know with his acceptance speech of His Excellency, we are very convinced that he's going to complete the ongoing projects and start even new ones. You are aware that when he came, he did not abandon projects that have commenced, started by previous administrations. He first completed and even started some of his development agenda by coming up with new structures, by starting and finishing some very life-transforming projects. His Excellency has also taken development to our constituencies. If you go to the 24 constituencies in Bayelsa State, through his community development agenda, His Excellency has carried out infrastructural development in the 24 constituencies that made up Bayelsa State. So we are very excited. You can send your team again to come and investigate whether or not what I'm saying is true. So for us, we are happy. PDP has been in power from 1999 to date. And for us, His Excellency, the governor has performed beyond our expectations. So, perhaps that was the reason why the people has given him another 4 years.
Right. So now that Governor Derry has, how magnanimous is he in victory?
Yeah. Of course, he has said that election is over. No more campaigns. He has already extended the olive branch. He has called on the other people to join. As a matter of fact, he has never told anybody that he's a governor of PDP. His slogan, I'm a governor of Bayelsa State, for the PDP, for the APC, for Labour Party, for Accord Party, for ABGA, and that is clearly demonstrated. As you can see today, most of the big wigs in APC, in Bayelsa, they all supported us. Take, for instance, a immediate past member of the Federal House of Representatives representing Bayelsa, Nembe Brass Federal Constituency, who no doubt was a close ally to the candidate of the All Progressive Congress. He worked with us and is with us. Likewise, other leaders. The immediate former deputy governor, a former acting governor, former speaker of Bayelsa State, His Excellency Right Honorable Wenene Presi Barogu, who no doubt also a close ally to the candidate of the APC, worked with us. Why? Because they have seen that His Excellency has distributed the dividend of democracy evenly across the entire state. And he did not see anybody as his opposition. He said, I'm governor of all. Whether you are in APC, whether you are in Labour Party, as long as we are all partners in the Bayelsa project, you are part of me. Come, let us build Bayelsa together. And that is exactly what he has demonstrated. He's busy uniting Bayelsans. He's busy uniting the John Nation. There is no zone in the John Nation. You know, the entire John Nation is made up of about 3 zones and 2 chapters. In Central Zone, we have Bayelsa State and some part of Rivers. We have Eastern Zone, the Jos in Rivers, the Jos in Akwa Ibom. If you go to the Western flank, we have the Jos in Delta, in Ondo, and in Edo. He is the Governor General of the entire John Nation. And today, some of the John leaders, they were all in Bayelsa. That clearly demonstrates that His Excellency is the best thing that can happen to the John Nation at this time. And that was the reason why the Bayelsans supported him massively, voted for him massively. They did not just vote. From 8 a.m. yesterday, the entire youths of this state, women, mothers, fathers, they came out, took over all the streets of Yanagwa, and that this election cannot be rigged. This election
Honorable Tari Porri, Member House of Assembly representing Ekiremo constituency. Thank you so much for joining us on Politics Tonight as we focus on Bayelsa State governorship election. Congratulations to you and your party. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We are grateful. Thank you for your team as well. We are very grateful. And once again, congratulations to the entire Bayelsa State, because it's a victory for the entire state.
Right.